Here in Washington this morning, we'll get a better idea of what the U.S. needs to do to electrify its vehicle fleet. At the top of the hour, leaders from several facets of the electric vehicle industry released their electrification roadmap, what they call a sweeping vision for the mass deployment of electric vehicles and infrastructure. Clean Skies' Tyler Suiters will be on hand for that event. He joins us now. Tyler, so last week you had a preview of what one automaker says needs to be done here.
Exactly, Susan. Carlos Ghosn is something of a rock star in the auto industry. He is the president and CEO of Nissan and Renault as well. Now, the occasion last week was the unveiling of the Nissan Leaf, a zero-emission vehicle, fully electrified vehicle that Ghosn says will occupy a unique place in the marketplace because it is geared toward mass marketing for every driver. He calls it affordable and also a performing EV. So on Friday in Los Angeles, I had the chance to talk with Ghosn about what he sees as the future for his car and the industry as a whole.
You know, what's unique about this car, first, it's affordable, which means the price of this car is going to be comparable to a car of the same size. Second, it's a 5-seater, it's a family car. Third, it's a car with a great driving performance, 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 10 seconds, and you have an immediate torque. So, you know, people still think that electric car has to be like a golf cart, you know, with no power, no nerve. That's not at all the case. And it's a zero emission. That means there is no CO2 emission, there is no particles, there is no noise. It's a completely different experience, even though it's an exciting experience, but it's completely different from the normal combustion engine.
Let's talk about the heart of this vehicle, that is the battery itself. You chose lithium-ion rather than a nickel metal hydrate. Why is that?
Yeah, well, you know, lithium-ion is the battery that we have selected. We have been working for more than 18 years on this battery, and we think that the level of performance that we reach with the lithium-ion today is totally compatible in terms of range, in terms of cost, in terms of size, in terms of power density to what is required on the market. Obviously, we're at the beginning, I would say, of an acceleration in the evolution of the batteries, and you're going to see second or third generation of batteries coming with probably different components. But for the moment, we've selected this one because we think that in order to start electric cars now, you need at a certain point in time to dive, and we want to dive with this battery.
Final question, Carlos. Could you make a prediction in terms of when we'll see a fully electrified vehicle fleet here in the U.S., and will there be a bridge between going from oil to pure electricity?
Oh, I think the transition is going to be very slow. It's going to take many, many years. And, you know, what I'm predicting is that in 10 years down the road, you'll have 10% of the sales of new cars by electric cars, so, which means 90% will be made by other technology. I think it's going to take a very, very long time because it makes a lot of sense. I mean, electric car is not in competition with internal combustion engine. You know, it's not electricity versus oil. It's a complement. If you want to avoid crisis, if you want to avoid burst of prices of oil, well, you need to start to divert some of the users towards other energies, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Now, as part of the rollout for the Nissan Leaf on Friday, I also moderated a roundtable discussion right there in the parking lot of Dodger Stadium in LA. Ghosn was a participant, as were David Crane, President and CEO of NRG, Mary Nichols, the Chairman of the California Air Resources Board. The topic there were the public-private partnerships that need to be in place to bring a fully electrified vehicle fleet to fruition here in the U.S. Susan, that entire discussion will be available here on our website a little later today at cleanskies.com.
Yep, a fascinating discussion. We'll definitely check that out, Tyler. So you had a chance not only to ride in this new Nissan Leaf, you were actually driven around by Ghosn. How was that?
It's a little like reading the Wall Street Journal with Warren Buffett. You're really in expert hands right there. I'll show you some of the video of our trip around the parking lot there at the baseball stadium. Ghosn was very clear in terms of stressing the performance aspects of the Nissan Leaf. He says this is not a golf cart. You heard him say that earlier, a point he made several times during the roundtable discussion we had. Top speed here, although we didn't hit it at Dodger Stadium, 90 miles an hour. Nissan compares the handling, the acceleration of the Leaf to a V6. And it did feel zippy going around the curves and up and down the hills. The range here, this is one of the keys that consumers want to see. Right now it's 100 miles per charge on average for that new Nissan Leaf. But Nissan says it expects the battery to have a lifespan of roughly 5 years, and by 6 years, that lifespan will have decreased to about 80% capacity. Right now, Susan, that Leaf is launching a 20-something city tour here in the U.S. Again, getting consumers aware of what this car can do, and also what Ghosn says is the affordability factor here.
So Ghosn really wanted to dispel any notion of a golf cart. Did it feel solid? How did it feel to you?
It did. The oddest part, Susan, is how quiet it is. And I think that's a problem we'll have going forward, one we've heard discussed by the auto industry before, that it is so quiet. Think about how much you hear and how often you use your ears in city traffic or when you're walking downtown in a metro area. There's no sound on this car except for when it's in reverse. So Ghosn and I talked a little bit about that, and as he said, Susan, quite simply, it's a lot easier to put noise into a car than it is to take out noise, which has been the emphasis for so many years.
Okay, adding noise. All right, Tyler Suiters, thanks for that. We'll check out the site for that roundtable discussion.